Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is old young man. Well, I think I had a video with the same words but just the other way, and the other video was about how does an old man stay young. Well, this video is more about a young man. How does a young man become too old? I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but what I'm trying to get at is that as a young man, you should be at the top of the world. You should be enjoying life like you're probably never going to be able to enjoy it again, either as a child or as you age. Being a young man should be the best time of your life, and you want to get to the point. But I see that a lot of young men squander this time, and I know I certainly squandered that time for myself, and I regret it, and I'm trying to point out ways that you don't have to do that if you're a younger man, and how you might counteract this idea. But this idea is sometimes the way a young man squanders his youth is by thinking too old, like you're an old man already. You start taking on behaviors, attitudes, mannerisms, and things that as if you were an old man, right? And if you if you don't do that, you can continue to enjoy that young man type of lifestyle, the power that you might enjoy on your own, the fun, the adventure, the advancement, the prosperity, the abundance, just the general feeling of being alive and enjoying your life can be yours if you avoid thinking and acting and behaving as old men do. And I don't think old men should act and behave old either, so I talk about both. But what do I mean by all this? Old men, sometimes they get jaded, and they get grouchy. They complain. They want other people to do for them. They worry too much about politics. They look back at the past as somehow that if we could just get back to the past, that would be better. And so if you start taking on those behaviors and mannerisms, your life as a young man are just going to go downhill. You don't want to think that way at all. You want to think everything is here for me as a young man, and I'm going to do as best I can with the now, and I'm going to make my future even better. And you're not going to look back so much as I wish things were back the way they used to be. Well, that's just totally ridiculous, right? That's a stupid thing that old men think about. The past is the past. You can enjoy it. You can reminisce about it. Maybe there's some elements of the past that you can kind of mimic in the now and in the future, but it's over with, right? You're that old that looking back, that's not going to help you as a young man. You have to learn to deal with today, and to adapt and to change, and to be flexible with today. And the easiest, and the way you do that is you just focus. You want to focus exclusively on your own things, what you can affect. You'll see that the old man thinking is that, well, we should all band together and bring things back the way they used to be. That's just not going to work. That's just not going to work. What you want to think is, what can I do to make my life good? How can I help the people closest to me? And not think so much about what others ought to be doing for me. That's, of course, is a victim mentality, and you're never really going to get anywhere thinking that somebody else is going to solve your problems. You better just get busy solving your own problems. When a man was young, he just did everything for himself, and that's the way you want to continue your life as long as possible, up until the last breath you take. Nobody, as an older man, nobody is really that interested in giving you anything. Sorry, that's just how it is. You have to kind of take it and work for it and do it yourself. And yes, it won't be people giving you things. It will be people cooperating with you, that you both gain. You both gain. Getting a good job, well, that's good for you that they gave you the job, but it's good for them that you're available to take it. Do you see the difference? It isn't getting a great job. It's like, well, you've got to be a person that has the capacity to do well in that job, and then you're benefiting the employer, and the employer is getting the benefit of your skills, capacity, knowledge, and ambition and drive. And from them, you're getting good pay, recognition, benefits, a good place to work, all of that. Stability in your income. That's what you want. So this idea that somebody needs to give you something, that's an old man idea, when an old man hasn't done things right throughout his life. The people who, if you're doing things throughout your life that are good for you, well, you're continuing to work, earn your keep out of trouble. Don't make the wrong people angry with you for good reason. Excuse me a minute, I'm just changing lanes, get a little bit busy here today. So don't be old men, crabby old men. There's nothing worse, right? Grouchy, crabby, the day has passed them by. You don't want that. You don't want to do that, especially if you're a young man. You don't want crabbiness. You don't want to be crabby. You don't want to be grouchy. You want to be positive, optimistic. You want a can-do attitude. If you're trying to get a job, if you come in all crabby, grouchy, you think you know everything, well, why would somebody hire you, right? If you're already crabby and grouchy when you're 30 years old, that's not good. You want to be happy because the world is good. Yes, there's some, right now, fall, just September 2020. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's a weird time. But, the times are always weird in different ways. And now you just have to kind of adapt to this and kind of figure it out. Keep your mind nimble, keep flexible, work on yourself. Don't expect that things will get better without you making them so. Expecting somebody else to do something for you, that's a fool's game. It's not going to work. It just doesn't happen. What happens it only seems like that happens is because you put in enormous effort to make your life better. And by you putting in that effort, somebody else will cooperate with you. So put in the effort. A young man should have plenty of energy for putting in the effort and making his life better. And the world is more than happy to help people who are putting in enormous effort to make their lives better. The world is more than happy also to dump all over you if you're not trying to improve yourself. The world is going to seem like it's going to give you a good beating to push you down even farther. It's the other way though. If you put in the effort as a young man to improve your life, the world is going to pull out its hand and pull you up with it. And I think that's really the main takeaway is if you're actively trying to climb and doing your best, staying out of trouble and doing things properly, working hard, being positive, thinking about abundance, you're going to climb, you're going to rise. And that it isn't, and the people who don't do those things, it's not that the world is pushing them down, it's just that everybody else is being pulled up. So you're staying the same while everybody else is rising. So it's going to appear like you're being pushed down, but it's just that everybody else is going up. So you want to be going up, climbing, not staying still, doing for yourself. A young man should be working hard. You should be trying to get it. You need some sort of education, some sort of training. You certainly have to be working. You certainly have to be staying out of trouble and not doing the wrong things. And if you do all that, your life is going to elevate. And the people around you who seem like they're being pushed down, I don't think they're not being pushed down. It's just that everybody else is rising up. I think if we could all kind of see that, it would be fairly obvious that that's what happens. And it's up to you as a young man just to recognize that and just work within that idea to improve your own life. And you're going to improve the people around you's lives as you're doing this. If you get a great job, well, your friends will say, well, if so-and-so got a great job, why can't I, right? If you get a degree in a field that's growing, people are going to say, wow, so-and-so did that, why don't I do that, right? This is a ripple effect. If I can get a great job in my 50s, why can't you in your 30s? You see what I mean? So give that idea some thought. You don't want to be an old young man. You want to be a young man with a great future ahead of you. All for now.